Hello, I'm Aideen and welcome to Playful Pathways. Doesn't it seem that kids are just magnets for stuff? There are toys and games and more toys and books and equipment and even more toys, and every time there's a Christmas or a birthday, you end up with more of it. Today, I'm going to talk to you about why getting rid of some of that stuff can help make your home feel calmer and more peaceful. Too much stuff naturally results in a lot of choices, and children just can't handle too many choices. They simply don't have the ability to deal with that. Most parents will tell you that it is much easier to give young children just 2 choices for breakfast, or maybe even no choices at all. They'll just get what they're given. As soon as you increase the number of options, do you want toast or cereal or fruit or yogurt or eggs or bananas or pancakes? It is a recipe for disaster, and it can really easily lead to frustration and disappointment and lots of changes of mind and possibly even tears and tantrums. To be honest, even I feel that way sometimes when I'm presented with too many choices. It can be stressful and overwhelming. It's just the same way with the environments that we live in. When there's too much stuff or too many options, it can make decision making a lot more difficult. When there's too many things to play with, there's less motivation to experiment, explore, or be imaginative. An abundance of toys can actually lead to a very narrow view of playing. For example, when they want to play robots, they feel they need to have that dedicated robot toy. Or when they want to play superheroes or princesses, they feel they need the exact replica costume rather than feeling like they can just come up with their own. Children don't need toys to inspire their imaginations. They already have brilliant imaginations, but we can limit their opportunities to experience that joy of invention when we surround them with too much stuff. Another reason to think about reducing the number of toys is the amount of distraction they provide. When there are fewer options, children have a chance to play much more deeply with one experience, rather than constantly moving from toy to toy or game to game. When there are fewer toys, children are much more motivated to stick with something and problem solve when it gets tricky, rather than just dumping it and moving on at the first sign of boredom. And boredom is not necessarily a bad thing. We can be so afraid of letting kids become bored. It's really easy to get caught in that trap of feeling that you've got to keep them entertained or make sure that there's always an activity for them to do. But actually, we've got to let kids experience that boredom so that they can learn how to manage it for themselves. Boredom and having nothing to do are often exactly the moments at which the most inventive and creative ideas are born. These are the times when we actually learn to initiate things for ourselves rather than needing somebody else to direct us all the time. When there are fewer toys, children are more likely to share and play with each other. It sounds counterintuitive, I know, but it's true. The focus shifts from the individual toy to the wider game or activity that's being played, and they're much more likely to cooperate and collaborate and help each other out. The final reason why it might be a good idea to declutter is, of course, when you have too much stuff, nothing seems special. It's very hard to value and appreciate individual toys, games, or experiences when they're just one in a sea of others. Remember this golden rule. If you're feeling stressed about it, then it's more than likely your kids are feeling that stress too, even if it's just by absorbing yours. And stress for kids manifests as challenging behavior. So that's going to be things like lots more fighting about the toys and arguing about tidying up. What it comes down to is that decluttering and getting rid of some of that stuff from your home is going to give your kids more physical space as well as mental space to enjoy playing and being in the moment and using their imaginations. And possibly you might feel more like playing too. If you like the sound of this getting rid of toys business, but you don't know how your kids would ever let you get away with it, then have a look out for my video where I'm going to give you my top tips on how to begin this process without causing a mutiny. Finally, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to become part of the Playful Pathways community, then please have a look at my Patreon page. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.